Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're brand new here, I'm FiddlinJonny and this is my fiddle channel and magic product review. And today we're going to do a magic product review. Now before we do any magic product review, we always do a quick fiddle tune before we get into the product review. So stick around, let's see what comes out of this fiddle today. Alright, well we're just going to keep it at that because I mostly don't want to waste your time on the fiddle today, but want to focus in on the product. And let me tell you a little bit about this part before we get into the review today. Oftentimes I feel like magic product reviews are hyped up commercials for specific products. That sometimes it becomes part of the hype of a release. And I do not want to be a channel that is essentially glorified commercials for products. I just want to give you a good review and give you what my perspective is. But I can tell you, because I'm so pumped and excited about this release, that it's going to feel a little bit like that at times. So I think I want to put that qualifier on the front end. This is one of those releases that really spurred my imagination more than any release this year so far. And I think it may be something that a lot of magicians out there are going to be attracted to. So anyway, what am I talking about? You probably know from the thumbnail already what am I reviewing. But I'm reviewing Bic Coin by James Keatley. And here's the deal. I just want you to stick around, watch the review, and see if this is right for you. Hello everyone. All right, let's just get into Bic Coin by James Keatley today. I should start off with, a lot of reviewers do this at the end. I'm just gonna do it at the beginning, just so you know. I love this product. It's a great release, and I'm just gonna recommend it to all of you. If you think it's something that is of interest, I think you'll be satisfied. With that said, this was sent to me by James Keatley to review in advance of its release on May 5th. Thank you, James Keatley, for sending it to me. With all of that said, I would purchase this with my own money in a heartbeat. I loved it that much. So let me talk a little bit then, that we got that out of the way. Let's just get into what is Bic Coin. Let me pause for a second. I get excited about certain releases, and I'm excited about this release. So let me babble on for a little bit before I get into some more of the details. When I watched this tutorial initially, it brought me back to some of my early days in magic, of when I was just felt like I was getting more and more proficient with some sleights, ringing objects in, ditching objects, and doing it quite comfortably and freely in front of people, thinking I will certainly be noticed or caught out for this. Nobody ever notices it. And I remember it was a time to be fun, jazzing with some of the ideas and the concepts of when you get really good at, or start to get good at, like palming objects and doing vanishes and appearances of objects, you know, in front of people's faces. And so it sort of brought me back to that earlier stage of magic when I was, you know, now what feels like 100 years ago. And it brought me real joy because it reminded me of those days. And with that said, for me, like, those were some real fundamental days and learning sort of essential things in magic that I carry to this day and continue to use and help me in my professional work. And I think this is a release that is a worker, but has as much value for somebody who's early on in their magic journey, that you're going to get some of the fundamentals that you can carry with you for a long time. So let's talk about what the heck is Bic Coin. And I should make some distinctions here. I think Bic Coin, I don't know if it's going to be overly marketed this way, but in large part it's a utility device. This lighter that you're getting, this really is a utility device that you're getting. But you're also getting so much more as it's related to the routines because of the other, you know, coins that you're getting in addition to your utility device, the Bic lighter. Let's talk about the routine. That's the main routine that's taught on here, but it should not limit you in terms of thinking about this, like, does that fit my style? Because you really have a lot of endless possibilities about what you want to create. I should start with the utility device itself, of course, allows you the ability, well, why don't I just show you what it does? And I'll bring it up close. Maybe I'll put up a demo somewhere along the way. Normally I would talk about the lighter itself and, you know, that it's a good solid gimmick, that sort of thing. And I think you can see it, is that it's pretty nice. It's basically a Bic lighter, but what it allows you to do is, like, you can use it as a magic wand, tap your hand, and boom, make a coin appear out of nowhere. That's essentially what the Bic lighter as a utility device allows you to do, is allows you to be able to make a coin visually appear. All right. It will also allow you to disappear a coin as well. So let's talk about the routine. The routine essentially starts with you being able to freely show your hands free and have a coin appear. You then can disappear that coin and make the coin reappear. Then, as magicians, we typically do coin through table, and we do it through top of table through to the bottom of the table. This is really wonderful because you take the coin underneath the table and you make it just visually appear on the top of the table. It happens in a second, it's really fast, and it looks like that coin just came through the table. From there, from a routine point of view, it feels like, ta-da, you're done, and the routine is done. But you can, if you decide sort of like, look, I'm gonna bring you in, spectator, and tell you how I really do it. And it's done with a gimmick coin, and you show them your coin, and you give it a little rub, and essentially you make it turn into a jumbo coin right in front of their face. So that is in essence the main routine that is taught, along with other ones, but that's sort of the core routine. If you do phase two is a coin appears, vanishes, and then appears underneath the on the palm of your spectator, who's been holding the cup that has juice or a drink in it the entire time, and the coin has magically appeared underneath, has appeared in their hand underneath the drink. That's the phase two portion. So let's talk a little bit about what are you going to get. So you are going to get your gimmicked lighter utility device, which is something I think you can use for your entire life. You're going to get a gimmicked replica Morgan. You're going to get a non-gimmicked Morgan. It is a replica Morgan. I really like it. The quality of this is good. It looks sharp. No one's going to question whether it's a real Morgan or not, because they're going to be amazed by your magic. You're also going to get this jumbo coin. What I really like about this jumbo coin is it's not as jumbo as a lot of coins. It's a solid piece of metal here, which I really like. But I like that it's relatively small. So if you have like smaller hands and you're worried about like, are you going to be able to hide the coin? And it's easy, it's small enough. If you're newer in magic, younger in magic, and you're worried about trying to palm or hide this jumbo coin, you'll find that you're going to, depending on how big small your hands are, learn that you could probably hide this relatively easy and palm it out of sight from your spectators. Okay, those are the things you're going to get with phase one. You're also going to get in this tin here some additional bits and bobs I'm not going to go into, but there are things that can help you as well with the performance or things you might want to add. Also how to maintain your gimmicked coin. It's going to help with that as well. Okay, with phase two, you're going to get 3 cups, a straw, and you're going to get an additional Morgan. That additional Morgan is gimmicked in some way, and I won't speak about that here, but there's something unique about that replica coin that's different than you get in the phase one portion of it. I should also talk about the tutorial itself and how the instructions are. So on the tutorial, at least at the time that I viewed it, and I know that they're adding more to it all the time, and by the time the initial release goes up, it'll have more on it. But the tutorial is, did I mention how long it is? The tutorial is 1 hour and 20 minutes in length. And the tutorial is taught by the creator, James Keatley, but you also have Craig Petty on there, who is teaching additional routines and doing part of the tutorial. The both of them do a great job on this tutorial, and it's lit well. The sound quality is good. It's not done in a studio. It looks like it's done at a convention, maybe at Blackpool or someplace else. But you also get real live performances on this in the wild with real people, which I really appreciated. But all the teaching is really good. I've talked about the gimmick and the quality of the gimmick, like this lighter should not break, should last a lifetime. I will add, normally I talk about negatives, and I've had this for, I'm gonna say almost a month now. And initially I was having some challenges with the gimmick, and I can't give away the method, but I was doing the appearance of my coin maybe too strong or too solid, and a portion of the gimmick would fail me, which was a user issue, not a gimmick issue. Now I've become so used to the nuance of the gimmick, like it hasn't happened to me for a while, and I almost forgot, like, oh yeah, don't get discouraged in the beginning if you're going like, oh, this gimmick is more finicky than I thought. Once you learn sort of like how it works and you've practiced it with it a little bit, you'll understand sort of the force that you need to use, or lack of force, in order to do the appearance. So at first I thought, oh, I don't like that. But probably within 15 minutes of practicing and doing a couple different routines, I understood sort of the finesse of the appearance and have not had the problem ever since. And don't be discouraged by that. And it's one of those things that I kind of forgot about until now. I was just looking at my notes when I was first putting this together, because I haven't had the issue since after the first day when I first got it, was first starting to practice. So. But let's go back here a little bit to this. I know that once this is released and people are on the Magic Cafe or other forums, they'll talk about the things that they don't like about the Bic lighter. And one of those things is it does talk a little bit. Now, in my humble opinion, even though it does talk, it's not going to be noticed when you're in a real life situation and performing, because you have a lot of ambient noise. And in fact, I'll see if I can try to replicate the talking of this, and you tell me. I'll be in a real life situation. I've got ambient noise, so no one's going to notice it. I'm just going to be quiet and, use this, do a little tap, and it has appeared. I don't know if you could hear it talking or not, but it's something that's not going to matter at all to your spectator. And keep in mind that I am roughly 12 inches away from the microphone, so it might pick up a little bit more. But for those who say it talks and I don't like that it talks so much, I think it's a weak criticism, because in a real life performance, no one ever hears it talking because there's too much ambient noise. Okay, but I do want to address it because I know folks will talk about it, or you'll see it on places, on forums, or over at the Magic Cafe, and I wanted to make sure that I am addressing that. I should talk about things that people will complain about. For me, it's a little bit nitpicking, but on the tutorial, you're going to get a couple of routines that are on there for ideas, but it doesn't go into great depth in teaching you how to do it. Once you understand all the fundamentals, you have it, and then it's sort of applied to different routines. But they do have one where it uses a steel ball bearing that essentially you can press and have it turn into a Morgan, and then you can make it return to its original form as a steel ball bearing. It doesn't go into great detail of that, but you don't really need to, because once you learn the essentials and the fundamentals, you can now do that with the ball bearing. There's also a routine on there that does an instant stooging of a spectator, and it doesn't go into stooging and how you stooge. But it doesn't matter, because all you have to do is repeat the pattern of the performer, because that's where the stooging occurs. and the person who only picks up on that is the person that you're stooging. So keep those things in mind. Not a lot of great detail on those, but I don't think it matters. Some people might bring that up as their criticisms, and those are my thoughts on those specifically. I think the other thing, now going to some positives about it, is that I hate when we see in tutorials like, it's endless possibilities, you're only limited by your own imagination. And that's not always true, because you are limited by the props that you're using, and that there are sort of alleys or lanes that, like, it's limited to sort of this lane. This is one of those releases where I think the application of that term really does fit and is applicable, that you're only limited by your own imagination. I hope anyone that gets this just ultimately comes up with your own original routines. You certainly will start with the routines that are on there, but I hope that folks will graduate to creating their own magic and their own ideas and routines with the props and utility device that you get on here. I should talk about what is the skill level. It is beginner skill level. I think that should have come through already, but I do want to say that it is beginner skill level, but it's also a worker at the same time, despite the relative ease of the sleights that are taught on here and the moves. We should talk about what the cost is. So now I'm going to sound foolish because I only have it in what it cost in euros or pounds. But if you want to get just the phase one, it's £79.95 or 79 euro 95 pence, I think is how you would describe it. And then if you want to add on phase two, that brings it up to 99 euro 95. So essentially 100 euro. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So that's what the cost is. I think anytime that you're getting coins are always more expensive because it costs to produce those. I think the quality of the coin matters. I like the quality of these coins. And I think the price is a very reasonable price for what you're getting. And especially from a cost perspective of value, these are the sort of props and utility device that last, and they'll last for a lifetime. And so I think the value really is there. I think also usually I talk about who's this going to appeal to. I think this crosses a lot of different boards. Like, I think for folks who like to do close-up magic, it's going to be great. For those who like to do walk around, it's going to be great. I think for folks who like to jazz a lot, it's going to be a fun release for them. I think for performers who are doing stage work, you're probably going to want a camera on you so that things can be seen. It's going to work fine, I think, in a parlor setting. So I think it has an appeal to a lot of folks who like to do specifically sleight of hand, close-up style magic. That's who I think is particularly going to like it. All right, so if you want to purchase it, it's not available until May 5th. So I don't know if you're watching this before May 5th or not, but essentially it's not available until May 5th. I'm going to put a link up here in terms of where you can get it, but it's jackmagic.com is where you're going to be able to find it. That's the launch date, and the launch date for the webpage. You can go now and sign up to get on their email to get reminders. So go out to jackmagic.com and go ahead and purchase it if it's after May 5th. If you're interested, and you can get more information there about it as well. All right, if you do have it, leave a comment and tell me what you think about it. Maybe some things I didn't cover because I feel like there's a lot I couldn't cover or haven't covered. Tell me about maybe some of the routines and ideas that you've come up with it. Yeah, so please do that. Leave a comment. I always appreciate that. And if you didn't purchase it, leave a comment as well. I always like hearing from you and love interacting with every single one of you who leave comments. I feel like you guys, many of you, have become my virtual friends since doing this. Also, if you've not hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. What are you waiting for? And thanks to all those who have subscribed. It is appreciated. All right, I'm FiddlinJonny, and remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. I'm going to do a quick demo of some of the things you can do with a Bic Coin. So I've got my Bic lighter here, and I've got my Morgan dollar. So I'm going to take my Morgan dollar, I'm going to bring it underneath the table, and we'll just give it a couple taps and we'll see if we can't get that coin to be able to come to the table. 1, 2. And there we are. We're able to get it trapped from underneath the table to come through to the top of the table. And that is your Bic Coin. So I hope you enjoyed it. One of the things I know I shouldn't do on this channel is do some reveal of method. So I'm just going to give away a little bit of method here because I know you're all curious. I'm working with a little bit of a gimmicked coin here. And you know it's a gimmicked coin because when you rub the gimmicked coin, you can see that it's actually a little easier to work with when you have a large coin. So anyway, hope that is helpful and thank you for watching.